has Got Talent and what is coming now.
And when you think like, okay, it was worth it coming to
Yeah,
work here,
yeah.
you know, just to see this. Well, I think my parents are music lovers. They
Okay.
were amateur musicians. My dad used to play the bassoon
Okay.
in Luke Youth Orchestras. My mom played piano. There was a very good school in São Paulo from a Japanese family. It's like they had an amazing class there. And so I started with them when I was 4. And my sister started there when she was 6, so I'm younger. And of course, I had to go every weekend to the lessons with my sister because they would not leave me alone at home. You
Yeah.
know? And it was like at some point, like I also want to play. I also want to play. So I
Okay.
was like, pushing my parents that I actually wanted to play the violin. And then they got me a small violin when I was 4, and I started scratching. But it was a very methodic, every week, and like Japanese, way stability, always the same,
Yeah.
method, and that worked. I think it worked really well. Yeah. But I had some talent. I played like Tchaikovsky concerto when I was 13, 14.
Oh, okay.
To go to concerts. I mean, São Paulo for South America, it's a big city, so we had good orchestras coming. So I heard, like the big orchestras. I heard even the Berlin Philharmonic when they
Oh,
played. They
yeah.
came in
They did.
2000.
Yes.
I was there at the concert. I heard Meta with Eastern Philharmonic and many good orchestras and chamber music. Lots of good people
Yeah.
came to play chamber music. And then I came to Germany when I was 16.
16.
I was a much later starter
Okay.
than Luis. My background are lawyers more than musicians. And my daughter, the one who just married, is now again a lawyer. So I'm a viola player, black sheep. So I started with 10 violin, and then with some years later I started to play the viola. And I very well remember my first encounter with my first great viola teacher, who was a very well-known solo viola of the Kubelik Orchestra. He tested me. I wanted to apply for the conservatory, and he gave me that Dvorak, the scherzo, viola solo to play from sight reading. And he had very special fingering, and he said, "Try this." He said, "Yeah. When somebody has talent, it shows. And you have much talent." And I was like waiting for the judge's verdict, and when somebody has got talent and what is coming now, then you have a lot of talent. And then I quite early went to join the orchestra of Celibidache in 1980. He was a musical genius. In a way, like Barenboim. He was, Furtwängler could not come back, or also did not want to come back. And during that time, so from 45 to 52, Celibidache was de facto the chief conductor of Berlin Philharmonic. And he told us once, they played the concert in Potsdam. They had to go there by a cargo train.
Cargo train.
Oh.
And they were shivering because it was so cold. You couldn't make it otherwise. And then he learned the scores on the way back from Potsdam. Next morning,
Yeah.
he knew the score.
Wow.
It was very hard that time. But, just to tell you, he knows the story. But I remember Celibidache conducting a dodecaphonic piece from a Munich composer, Creation, first time, from heart, first rehearsal, everything. And then he says, fourth horn, I think you have to play F, not C. And Karl Hammer looks up and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I misread the clef."
Ah, okay.
Don't you imagine everything, first rehearsal, you couldn't, from experience, say something. No, it was all in his head. So this was kind of genius, but he was very, very strict, and a lot of people didn't like him because he was too strict.
Just pick
Just one.
Just one.
Oh my god, that's a tough one. I mean, there are a few. One that comes to mind. Brahms' first concerto, piano concerto with Zimmermann. Yeah, that stayed. It was Rattle,
Rattle. Okay.
but that was a memorable thing for me. To be there and to Zimmermann was
Zimmermann
just
is genius.
it was,
It's one of the most difficult concertos.
Yeah.
it
For
was,
piano.
it was incredible. I mean, it was just nice to be there and experience it, to live that moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you think like, okay, it was worth it coming to
Yeah,
work here,
yeah.
you know, just to see this, and with the orchestra as well, like it was amazing.
I heard some orchestra members, even they are musicians, they so touched
Yeah,
because of the solos sometimes.
yeah, absolutely.
Of course. But it's not completely wrong when I saw this November 12th, 89 concert with him,
Barenboim.
with this
Yeah.
concerto and then the 7th Symphony of because it was really the historic moment.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Così fan tutte overture is encore. I still remember they were clapping like mad, and then he said, well, normally we don't play encores, but this is not a normal concert. And he was right.
So, how many times have you played since you joined?
How many? No idea. No
Can't
idea.
remember.
How many concerts per year? Around 100?
Yeah, maybe.
Around 100, right?
So, 21 years ago.
41 years,
So-
41 times 100.
4,000, 100 concerts.
Could be
Could be. I don't.
to take some weeks to count it all.
It ain't worth.
Because you also forget which programs you
Yes,
play.
yes.
Even if you take the whole season, you know, we don't play all the
Yeah, that's
all the
true.
week every week.
Yeah.
So you have to remember which week you played, which week you
He remember everything.
No.
He can do it. I won't.
No, no, no.
Wow.
No, but then, you know, when
41.
you look up old programs, and sometimes I remember the soloist. So I completely forgot the symphony we were playing after, but I remember the soloist
Oh,
because
yeah.
it was so fantastic.
It's true. Yeah.
Karajan was by far the most pedagogic type. He would insist on what he wanted until he got it, and he was a very patient man with that. No blow in the face. No, not at all. No. He knew this takes time, and I will get it when I'm patient. Nowadays approach, they just want to push a button. Of course, you can have very good results with very good musicians. But if you want to make it your orchestra, this even goes back further, meaning I remember Karajan being present at the auditions, and he was a very persuasive man. He had an uncanny talent.
To smell talent.
Yes, he had this feeling for finding the real talent. And then at the final round, normally this was orchestra excerpts for woodwinds and the winds in general, he would conduct
At the audition.
at the
A
audition.
musician alone.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he would cue to play differently. Why? Very simply, because he wanted to test you if you only learned your thing or if you are talented. Once again, very undemocratic, very cruel, but he just wanted to forge his army to have a certain type of musician and to look for a certain kind of musicianship. And this was very, very intelligent, very clever from the HR point of view.
Oh, yes.
They often accused that the rate of success or failure of our candidates before they get tenure is higher than somewhere else. Now, that's maybe true in percentage, but the problem is if you normally, in many other orchestras, it's you win the audition and that's it. Very rarely you don't get tenure. But it's two different things, playing very well and playing within a section or within an orchestra. To be honest, it's two different things. So that's the reason why sometimes even very, very good musicians don't get tenure with us, because, like, a very, very sad example was this horn player, fantastic horn player, but just not capable of integrating himself into, and he then went to Chicago, same story, and there are people who still accuse Chicago Symphony, why didn't you take, but well, he is a fantastic horn player, but you can't isolate that. It's two things, playing fantastic solos and then playing within the horns, leading the horn section, but playing within the orchestra, you know. It's very different. So that's the reason why we take more time. We're losing a lot of time, but I think it's worthwhile. Let's put it like that. He was a very, very good conductor, but he was also a chief. He was the head of the enterprise. You know, that's a role which I think Abbado did not want to adapt at the same degree. Hattel did. I think he was a very inspired chef. That's all I can say. We had Mazel, who was fantastic, very, very, very good. Muti, some other roles, Osaba, Levine, very, very good. And of course Tillemann. He is now his concurrent, competitor. He's head of the Staatskapelle.
And how about you?
Yeah.
You have worked with Abbado? That's the first one? No?
Not officially. I worked him when he came as a guest.
Oh, okay.
Because I got the position, my first time I played here was still in the academy. So I had my audition for the academy 2006. I think I was still 21, something like that. And then I played already with Rattle.
Okay.
And then I think Abbado came 3 times during that thing. No, I remember once with Polini, he played Brahms third. He did a fantastic Brahms. He came as a guy. That was one of those moments too. It was really, really nice. Abbado, and then Rattle. Oh, I didn't have the first years of Rattle. I was still on the other side as an audience.
Okay.
In ensemble playing.
Not fighting?
Nah, not fighting.
Fighting.
Yes.
No, I think you can't please everybody. I mean, maybe you might not agree on a lot of things, but you have to find a way to play together. So I think the art is to be able to take a step back and be with the ensemble, and to know the right moments where you have to come up. It's the same thing for a conductor. I think in general in music, you have to know also as a conductor, for instance, when you should really take over the orchestra and when you should let the orchestra play. Conductors that are only controlling all the time, it's not going to have the nicest sound. It's not going to work. So I think the best ones, like Kleiber, he knew exactly when the orchestra needed it and when to let the orchestra play and be at ease.
Yeah.
So and I guess that's the role of every good musician. Like a good musician, that's the difference. You must have a feeling for the group, for the concert hall as well. As I said with Celibidache, to know the acoustics and to know, because music has a relation to time and space. You can't just repeat all the time and try to get it right and to control it. It's not about control. It's
It
about
will sound like that.
it will sound like that. It's
It
not
will rise.
natural. It's not going to sound natural. And music has to do, in music in the end, it's a mystery because you can't really put into words what music is, right? So sometimes the best musicians can't even read music, maybe. So music in the end, it's a mystery, but I think that's an important element of it.
Yeah. Like a fish in water.
It's like fish in the water. You cannot be all the time. It's me, and you can also not hide. So you have to know, obviously, the technical abilities and nice sound and inspiration and emotional. It all comes together. But
That's right what Lutz says. It's give and take.
a give and take, right?
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
For the ensemble playing.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you play alone, it's different. If you're playing
Sure.
solo, then it's different. But to play in an ensemble, I think I would say is the most important thing.
Right.